Hi, I'm Ashley, your university mentor. I am a second-year university student majoring in psychology, and I'm here to talk to you about college expenses. Let's be honest, everyone worries about how they're going to pay for college. Oftentimes, this is due to a lack of individualized, concrete, and comprehensive college planning. This particular video will focus on teaching you about what to expect when funding your education and what these costs will exactly entail. We will break down the large costs that tend to intimidate students and their families. You will begin to understand the reasonability behind each expense and learn strategies to save on such costs. You will also learn the estimated cost of attendance at each of the 4 systems of higher education in California. What are registration fees? What are room and board fees? And specific strategies to save money while in college. Let's compare tuition costs at each system. For example, the total cost of attendance in the school year for 2010-2011 community college, $13,000. For Cal State universities, $22,000. University of California, $31,000. Private independent colleges, $30,000 to $50,000. You may see these figures and become concerned with the reality of having to pay for your education. When you see thousands of dollars, it's frustrating to think how you will ever be able to afford such large amounts. However, what's important is that you keep in mind these figures are simply an estimate of what an individual will spend per year while in college. This estimate does not factor in the amount of free money that you will be eligible for. These expenses become clearer and more reasonable once broken down. You are now able to distinguish price differences and plan accordingly. Let's begin by understanding what these amounts include. What we all as students have to pay for are registration and tuition fees. These fees are required in order to take courses, and if these are not paid for, then you will not be permitted to enroll in any classes or attend university. Generally, you pay these fees prior to the beginning of the semester or the beginning of the quarter. This is where the systems tend to vary. This is because each system receives funding from different entities. For example, community colleges, California state universities, and UCs are all public institutions. This means that they receive funding from the state government to cover its facility, costs, and courses. But in contrast, private and independent colleges do not receive direct funding from the state, therefore their registration fees are at a higher cost. Let's move on to books and supplies. This cost refers to items you will need to purchase for each of your classes. Unlike high school, you will need to pay for your own textbooks, and depending on your major, these costs can range to be very expensive. Supplies can even be the very basic school necessity items such as notebooks, paper, pens, pencils, and even folders. This cost may also account for items such as lab coats, class instruments, or sometimes test booklets you will need for an exam. Now on to room and board. These costs refer to your living situation in college. For those students living in the dormitories, this cost will vary depending on the dorm and meal plan you will select. For instance, the most expensive dorms are those that are single, private rooms with their own bathroom. There is also suite apartment-style housing options. The least expensive option is the one in which you will share with a roommate and have a communal bathroom. These are known as resident halls. If a student opts to live off campus, they can rent an apartment nearby or live with parents or relatives. Meal plans are what will allow students access to the dining halls where food is provided. When you speak about miscellaneous costs, this may be referred to as health insurance, travel fees, computer fees, cell phone fees, personal fees, and out-of-state fees. Lastly, let me speak to you about how to save on such expenses. Many of these amounts you see on college admission websites use figures that estimate costs on the higher end of things. But if you learn to be cautious with how you spend your money, then you can save yourself lots of money. Here are some ideas as to how to save on such costs. Books. Avoid buying new books. Instead, buy online, buy used, share, and look into ebooks. Also, many professors will place textbooks on reserve in the campus library for students to borrow throughout the class. Supplies. Stock up during sales, take advantage of back-to-school sales in August, September, and buy enough to keep you through the year. Buy supplies at discount stores versus major store chains. Also, avoid buying too many school logo supplies. Big meal plans are tempting, but the minimum may be just fine. You'll find that you don't eat at the dining halls just as much as you would think. Also, take advantage of club meetings and on-campus events that may offer free food. You'll get a free meal and perhaps even learn something at the same time. Transportation. This can vary depending on how far you have moved to attend school. Consider carpooling, taking the bus instead of a plane, and being okay with not coming home every weekend. If commuting to campus, look into carpooling with a friend in order to save on gas. So now you know. I'm Ashley, your university mentor, and here to let you know, university culture is for you.